To the February 14th College Council meeting of SUNY Poly Institute. Welcome, and I don't have any new comments to make. I just want to welcome everyone and say happy Valentine's Day. Hope everyone is having a great day. You've received the minutes of December 13th, 2023. Dan sent them out. Dan Sargent, thank you very much for sending everything out. I'd like to take a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Bill. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the minutes have been approved. Thank you. We'll go directly to the president's report. Dr. Sobiello. Wally?
Thanks, Rohan, and
Thank you.
pleased to be here. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. It's great to kind of give some kind of update on the progress we've made since our last meeting, and it's quite remarkable since December. A number of things that really have happened, which we'll report on in this presentation. So our most significant thrust has really been the focus on the strategic plan. And so, Wayne, if you could please upload the presentation.
Right here on the left, last one on the left. I don't know if you do that.
Yeah, so people will come inside of it. We will go back. This is the day for technical difficulties.
I guess, yes. It's okay.
Yeah, I stopped sharing. Now I can't see anything.
You hit escape there.
No camera. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You hit escape? Yeah, escape.
Here we are.
All right, so hang on just a sec. Let's try this again. And I'll just keep it.
There it is.
Okay.
Okay.
We just use the keyboard arrows.
Okay. Let's try again.
Okay.
So I'm going to give an update on our activities here at SUNY Poly over the last few months or so. And I would say that much of our effort has focused on the strategic plan, but we have quite a bit to report on the activities of our colleges and a number of good outcomes in a number of areas. So in case of the strategic plan, following the efforts to gather information from different groups, we had an event on the 12th of January where we brought together our internal stakeholders and our external stakeholders. Internal stakeholders, faculty, students, staff, alumni, and the external stakeholders, government, industry, civil society, and other academic partners. To what was a really exciting event. I think a lot of very positive energy, where we basically tried to get the feedback from all the stakeholders. And it was really a very nice event that really brought together many ideas that coalesced into what is emerging to be a coherent strategic plan. One of the stars for the day was Chuck Green, who apparently came unrehearsed, but gave a very, very nice presentation on how SUNY Poly helped him build a corporation that now handles $1 billion contracts.
Isn't that wonderful?
From the federal government. Truly amazing story. And, also sowed the seeds in many ways for a future in cybersecurity in a way that forms a great template for how we can create special spaces for students such as Chuck Green. Since then, Andrea Lagara has paid more attention to him And we're hoping that he will not just hire our students, which he wants to do, and support our activities, but become more actively involved at SUNY Poly. We got a lot of feedback from the students, but the initial event on the 12th had really leaders of the student government and 40 RAs. So to ensure that we got the feedback that we need from the students, we went further and made some arrangement to have another day on February 6th when we really brought the students in to provide their feedback. This event on the 6th of February was really well attended by student leaders, and we had 60 students sharing their insights and concerns and visions of a brighter future for SUNY Poly. The students, I have to say, in both events were really, really engaged and gave us some great insights that are now being fed into the final version of the plan in ways that allow us to really address the needs and interests of our students. Now, it's particularly important to note that a number of people are paying attention, and this is just one sort of note from Jasmine Skahusic, who basically noted that our sessions in engaging the students in the future of their school really show that we respect and appreciate the voices of our students and their opinions are being represented in what we formulate into our plan. And thanks to technology, actually, we're able to acquire a lot of that information, analyze it in ways that are providing us with the insights that we need. Now, as we kind of look back, I just thought we should just kind of remember where this all came from. This came from a request from the SUNY Board of Trustees in December of 2022. There were a number of gatherings here on campus where the initial ideas were put together that led to the pillars that in many ways mimic the pillars from the Chancellor. And then when I came on board in September, October of 2023, we started putting together some subgroups to build on the work that had already been done. We gave a preliminary report to the Chancellor in December of 2023, and with a group effort, we then had the events on the 12th of January and then the 6th of February that have now put us in a position where we're putting things together and we're hoping to publish the strategic plan in March of this year. So a lot of tremendous progress, and I have to say that much of the foundational work that was done by Andy Russell, Heather Hage, and all the others that came together really was pivotal to sort of building us up to the point where we are today. So we're very excited about what's emerging. The document is crystallizing very well, and we want to really thank everybody that's contributed to the idea so far. Now, before we start talking about a strategic plan for 5 years, I think it's important to kind of note that our starting point was in the sort of 100-day plan that I presented at the start of our efforts in October of last year. And I just wanted to report back on the outcome of those efforts. In terms of our commitment to the students, happy to report back that we are going to be opening up new venues for student activities. There's a new a Wildcat esports space arena that we're hoping to commission in the next 2 weeks or so. That's really been a great collaboration with student government, who actually paid for significant amount of renovation work that's been done to the space. The pub will be renovated and commissioned in March. So those early efforts and early promises are being kept. In terms of the promises to the staff, we've really strengthened a lot of teaming activities, and we've also done significant work to bring in some new leaders, some of whom I will announce later on in this presentation. And in terms of the activities in the staff and the campus, we've been engaging the whole campus in the strategic planning process, really much of a team effort. And we've also really focused on nurturing strategic partnerships with government, with industry, with business and civil society, as well as with the surrounding academic institutions. So we will show you later on a more public view of this, where Wayne grades it green, yellow, or red. and I think most of it is green or yellow, with a little bit of red in a few places. Next, please. And then in terms of external partnerships, we've really reached out to the community colleges and universities in the area. We've actually had joint cabinet meetings with the folks at Mohawk Valley Community College. The first of these we had in December of 2023. The day afterwards, we had a meeting with the folks from Herkimer Community College, where we basically signed a joint document for collaboration and started an effort to initiate a collaboration with Herkimer Community College on really educating people in correctional facilities across the country. And we're very excited to say that this activity is likely to come to fruition this year. And then with the folks from Onondaga Community College, we've been discussing ways of working with them to do joint faculty hiring and support of their growing programs in computer science. But we found out when we had a joint cabinet meeting that they want to collaborate with us in business, they want to collaborate with us in engineering and health sciences in a way that is mutually beneficial for us. And all of these collaborations lead to different paths to poly. And so really in working with them, we're really also building our own enrollment in a way that's really natural. We've had visits to Giotto Enterprises in Orange County. Very, very successful example of a company that's highly successful that emerged from technology developed by SUNY Poly, co-developed by SUNY Poly faculty. And we've also had very, very successful visioning visit and joint meeting with Heather Hage and the colleagues at the Griffiths Institute. We're putting together a major initiative that will elevate the Mohawk Valley in a way that is exemplary. We've had also a number of tours of the Danfoss facility, and they've agreed to let us use space in their clean room areas to support our efforts with funding from the governor. In fact, we just returned from the third visit to that area in the last month or so, where basically the new leader there is opening up their space to us for doing the sort of workforce development, research, education of the highest quality, using resources that will be provided through the funds from various donors.
That's great.
To see how that's evolving. And then lastly, we're in the process of setting up a meeting with the folks from the Air Force Research Lab, and Rowan will be part of that entourage as well, where we'll be looking at how to really strengthen our collaboration with the Air Force. So that meeting now is scheduled for the 29th of April. Next, please. So lots and lots of partnerships and lots of ongoing projects. And so I want to switch now to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're working on. Next, please. And so in terms of the path to poly, there's very significant activities going on in terms of really the campaign to really increase the different pathways to poly. And so Wayne, I'd like to call on you to say a few words about these activities.
Sure. Thank you, President Soriejo. So I'll be brief on this. We're really excited about our Path to Poly initiative. This originated from the SUNY Transformation Fund application that we submitted
this past summer, received funding for, and actually we just received, well, I'll come back to the total of that funding was $930,000, of which about $180 was dedicated to this Path to Poly initiative. We've recently received another $90,000 for this. So up front, I will say SUNY is very supportive of this initiative that's really centered around building partnerships with our top community college feeders. And so I mentioned feeders because these are the 4 community colleges that we tend to receive the most students who transfer to SUNY Poly. That's Mohawk Valley Community College, Herkimer College, Onondaga Community College, and Hudson Valley Community College in Troy. So we're making tremendous progress. We have a digital and print campaign that we're kicking off. We've done some marketing for this that has resulted in a significant increase in transfers for this semester. But now we're really moving forward with these funds to do a digital marketing and billboard campaign that'll stretch from March through the end of June. So we anticipate not only will this impact our yield for the fall 24 semester, but it will also raise the exposure of Path to Poly and boosting enrollment at the community colleges and also at SUNY Poly. But a lot of what this initiative centers on is certainly growing enrollment, but building stronger partnerships with the faculty, with the advisors, with the admissions staff within those community colleges. So their faculty and team know exactly what programs align. They know what resources we have. They know that on this campus that values diversity, equity, and inclusion, that they'll have a place that they can transfer to and belong. So we're hitting on all cylinders, and in order to do that, we're planning 2 events. One will be held this spring to invite staff and faculty to campus to really network and engage with us and understanding what those transfer paths are. And then later this fall, we're planning a Path to Poly annual symposium that's really centers around the student and the successful alumni who have been at the various community colleges and then succeeded at SUNY Poly. So that's just a quick overview. We're really excited about this, and as I said, we're growing partnerships in an effort to grow enrollment, both at the community college level and at SUNY Poly.
Thank you, Wayne.
You bet.
And at the international level, we've also been building partnerships that we hope will increase the pipeline of students. We've initiated marketing efforts to a few countries in Africa and Asia. In the case of Africa, we've received groups from Ghana, Cameroon, and Nigeria, and we're also building relationships to try to recruit students from those places. In addition to that, we are focusing especially on the opportunities to recruit graduate students from India. We recently sent a team that included Zitek and Will Javian to India to help us revitalize that market, which has been a very successful market for us in recent years. And we're focusing in the initial efforts on computer science, cybersecurity, and data analytics, 3 of which are very, very popular and exciting topics and subject areas to students from across the world. And we've seen an uptake in the numbers of graduate students that are applying to SUNY Poly from these countries. And so as we go forward, we hope to build on this experience and to invest more, leveraging the growth in graduate enrollment as part of a strategic way of building a population of students at SUNY Poly. Then moving forward, the foundation has been successful in sort of promoting further donations to SUNY Poly. We're looking forward to this day of giving, where we hope to surpass what we achieved last year, where we raised nearly $185,000 from our single day of giving. And last year we also, of course, had 3 endowed scholarships that were funded. This year we're hoping to do better, and our plan is to communicate with the community via email, social media, and across campus. And we hope that you will all consider giving on this day.
Absolutely. Thank you.
In terms of good news for a number of our personnel, we're thrilled to announce the promotion of Andrea Lagada into the new position of Vice President for Institutional Advancement. This was approved by the SUNY system at the end of last year, actually just after we announced some of our other folks that were promoted. In addition to Andrea, who's done a fantastic job over the last 5 years building our growing endowment and institutional advancement area, we also are pleased to note that Rafael Romero agreed to be the interim dean of the College of Business, and he's been, of course, here at SUNY Poly for many years, and agreed to help us until we find a permanent dean. Alicia Foster, who has also been here for some time, is now taking on double duty as the interim associate provost for enrollment management. And she's, of course, brought a lot of energy and a lot of experience to that field, standing in for Mary Rose Rabb, who has gone on a retirement. In terms of new faces here at SUNY Poly, we're delighted to welcome Michelle Kilburn as the new Vice President and Chief Human Resources Officer. Michelle comes with a background in academia as well as IT and consulting industry experience, and she's already started to really reorganize our human resource department and initiate some new changes there. We have a new Director of Athletics, John Charnacki, who came from Hartwick College. John brings a wealth of experience to that activity, and we really look forward to his contributions. Kathleen DeCastro, Director of Student Accessibility Services, came to us from Mohawk Valley Community College. And Sarah Furlong is the new Director of University Marketing and Communications, who's come to us from Colgate. So some really great talent. We're very excited about the new energy that they bring, and we welcome these new team members to our community. Now, beyond the people and the progress that we've made good progress also in terms of enrollment. We've been keeping a close eye on the enrollment numbers this year, and delighted to say that compared to where we were last year, most of the numbers are better. If you look at the sort of head count of undergraduates and graduates and the combined totals and what we've done this year, generally the numbers are on the up. So overall, I think the enrollment at both the undergraduate and graduate levels are a little better than they were before. And we're keeping an eye especially on some of the numbers coming from India, with some investment in Zetec and Viljavian, who've gone over there to make sure that we continue to maintain these numbers and we get the yield that we want. Next, please. And then in terms of the applications for this year, the applications are up, and the acceptances are also up. And we're basically seeing sort of early signs that overall yield should be better. There's some delays in the FAFSA, which, as you know,
Yes.
is a national challenge, and we're basically working with the SUNY system and the Chancellor to an adjusted schedule that will probably complete the FAFSAs after June 1. So we don't see those representing a significant problem in the long term. I think by the time we get to the fall, all these things will even themselves out. In the meantime, we're planning a bus trip to New York to really focus on not just the local students in this area, but a significant number of students that we hope to attract from the New York area to our campus. So that visit will occur in April of this year. It will also link up with athletics and a number of other kind of team members to really try to attract students from New York City and the areas around there to our campus. Now, shifting now to talk a little bit about sort of news from the colleges. Next, please. It's exciting to see the work of faculty sort of published and recognized in different ways. Assistant Professor of Sociology, Don O, and his peers from Portland State recently published research on the shifting tides in the evolution of racial inequality in higher education from the 1980s to 2010. And so this is work that's increasingly important as we go through the demographic cliff to really see how issues of inequality have affected education. And of course for us to motivate us to try to overcome some of these challenges in our own system. Next. And then our College of Business recently got extended in their accreditation from the AACSB. Accreditation from the AACSB is highly demanding. Only 5% of the business schools across the world have AACSB accreditation. And so we're happy to see this continued recognition of our efforts in this area. Next. And then in the College of Engineering, Professor Sanjay Lee and Julian Jarasol received grants totaling $298,000 and $86,525 respectively to advance their offshore wind projects. As we know from recent announcement by our governor, this is an area of high importance to our state, and we're delighted to see two of our engineering professors getting funded in this area. Next. And then in the College of Health Sciences, approximately 90 graduate students recently completed the instructional portion of their programs with the white coat ceremonies that are shown here. And we're delighted to see the continued success of our nursing program here at SUNY. Thanks. So, in terms of our foundation continues to attract funding. For me, it's actually interesting to see the growth of our endowment from 1 million to 11 million in about 3 years. That's fairly significant. And I think we're also happy to see the meaningful nature of the kind of donations that are being made. The Anita Brown Memorial Scholarship Fund is being established in honor of Anita Brown, who was a member of our foundation, who died at the end of last year. The alumni basketball game is shown here. There were a number of basketball games that were held after the death of Coach Grimmer. And as you know, there's a fund that's been established in honor of Coach Grimmer that will contribute to SUNY Poly in perpetuity. And most recently, we had a wonderful reunion in Florida, where, as we show here with this picture here, this was held in the home of one of our alum, the chair of the SUNY Poly Foundation, and his wife were the gracious host of this, well attended by retired faculty and alums in the Florida area. And I have to tell you, the fondness that they showed for SUNY Poly was truly infectious, and really look forward to continue with this format of reaching out to our alums in different parts of the country. And beyond these pictures that are shown here, we continue to get significant donations, some of which are anonymous, that are really funding the mission of the school in many great ways. The Wilcox Family Foundation, for example, recently funded new labs in physics and also in engineering. We're grateful to them for their support. And we have an anonymous donor who's funding our preparation for the eclipse that's about to happen, which is going to be also a very a nice event where we hope to connect to a number of folks that will be visiting campus at this time. Next, please. And then we're already getting ready for commencement. It's really exciting to see that Our commencement speaker this year will be Heather Hage for one of the commencement ceremonies, and the Reverend Pastor Ballman, who was selected by the students for the good work that he's doing in the Utica community. And so we're trying to get ahead of the game here. And so I don't know if you want to say a few words about this.
Yeah, thank you, Wally. So those commencement speakers will be formally announced to the campus and to the public, the media, next Tuesday. So this is your inside information. But no, we're really excited. The marketing and communications team have been working really hard to develop a really robust communication strategy and plan for commencement so that we inform not only the graduates, but faculty, staff, and the community, certainly notifying students of when to get regalia and the process and steps associated with commencement. So we avoid any statements that, well, we didn't know that was coming, or we didn't know that was right upon us. So we feel really good. The team's done a really good job at partnering with various offices on campus in a collaborative way to really elevate the way in which we communicate and promote commencement this year.
Right.
And our speakers are thrilled.
Yeah, we contacted both of them, and I think they were beyond thrilled.
Yeah.
It was wonderful to see their response and their personal appreciation of the recognition from SUNY Poly. So all in all, it's been very active time for us, but it's also been a great time where we've experienced really tremendous team spirit as we've brought all these different activities to life. And so with that, I'd like to conclude the presentation. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. I just have one question. Have we heard anything about the applications that we had for master's programs? Is anyone in a position to answer that? Where they are or what's going on with them?
I think the overall applications from India are down, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to send Wiljavian and Zaytech to India. From what I remember, we have, I think, something like 30 deposits, which is down from where it was last year. And so as a result of this, we put quite a lot of effort into the partners that we have in India. We've certainly paid a number of the consultants in the last month to make sure that they really put a significant effort into recruiting students for us. So we're hoping to see much greater numbers in the fall, but in the spring there will be a dip in the international students from India.
Thank you. I guess thank you for that information. I was asking, we put some applications, I should have spoke more clearly, to State Ed and SUNY, I guess is what I'm talking about, additional master applications. Is Andy Russell may have some insight. Is Andy here or no?
And Andy, are you on the call?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm right here. So applications for the degree programs, is that?
The degree programs, correct. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the letters of intent have been approved by SUNY, and the faculty now are working on full proposals for mechanical engineering, a Master's of Science, and a Master's of Science in Civil Engineering. And a letter of intent also has been developed for a Master's of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering.
Thank you, Andy.
That's where
Thank
it is right now. Yeah, you're welcome.
No problem. Okay. Well, you can, if there aren't any other questions from anyone, I'll leave some time if there's other questions regarding the president's report from any of our council members or staff. Anyone? Academic? No? Okay. Andy, you can, the Middle States reaccreditation update. Would you like to give us a bird's eye view of that?
You bet. Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone for coming. Appreciate your time and energy here. So, the Middle States self-study is going well. We have recently reinvigorated the membership for all 7 subcommittees as well as a steering committee. We've updated those in light of some of the changes in high-level positions that President Soviejo highlighted earlier. And so those are fully staffed and moving full steam ahead. Several people on this call are engaged with that. The progress toward completion of the self-study also is moving along well. The milestones that you should know about are May 2024. We should have a rough draft of our campus self-study. In October, the self-study is due to Middle States. So between May and October, we'll have some time to refine the rough draft and make sure it reflects our campus the way we want to represent it. And then the team visit from Middle States will occur in the spring of 2025, before the end of April. Probably, we haven't set a date yet, but I would guess in the March to April range. So really have to give a shout out to Carly Phipps, who is one of the co-chairs, has really taken this thing by the scruff of the neck and dragged it all along. As you know, there's a lot of people with competing demands on their time, and a deadline of spring 2025 doesn't always capture the attention of everyone involved. But Carly's really done a magnificent job steering things with the assistance of Wendy Lansing here in the Provost's office. So big shout out to them, and I think everything's in good shape.
Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome.
Any questions of Dr. Russell? Okay. No, I didn't think, Dan Sargent, the faculty representative update, is it Dr. McLean or is it someone else?
He has a representative, Dr. Sarner, is here to provide.
Sarner, Ron Sarner. Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't want to say a name without. Okay. Dr.
Greetings.
Sarner, welcome.
Greetings, Chair Destito and team. We haven't chatted in a long time, and Bill Thixton,
Right.
of course, too. I know. Well, you got me because because Adam, who's the faculty governance chair, is teaching at this hour, and the vice president secretary, Christina Boylan, is also teaching at this hour. So I looked around and said, which of the committee chairs is not teaching at this hour, and that's me. So,
That's good.
but I'm
It's good
happy
to
to
see you.
I'm happy to join you. I thought I'd take a few minutes to talk about, I think folks might wonder, what is it faculty governance does? How do they take up their time? We know they take up time, but what do they do? So I thought I'd highlight one issue that we're wrestling with. It's not the committee I chair, but I think I know enough about it to present it in 3 to 5 minutes, and I thought I'd go there and give you a sense of it. And it really has to do with transfer credit policy. There's good news and bad news here. I'm the oldest person. I'm not physically the oldest, but I've been here the longest. This is my 50th year here. So the good news is I know the history of the place. The bad news is I know the history of the place. SUNY as a system does not have a good history with transfer. In fact, the major reason this place was founded, that Bill Kinsella, his vision was to find a home for people who could not transfer within the system. And in the late 1970s, we had more transfer students than any campus in the system. More than Albany, more than Binghamton, more than Buffalo, more than Stony Brook, all of whom are much larger than we are. And as the attitude toward transfer at the time was really pretty crummy. We've all heard stories along the lines of, we can't give you credit for that course because you're not using the same textbook that we use on our campus. And in a sense, that's part of what this place was founded to fix. I'm not going to tell you that we were perfect. We were not in our early years. There was protectionism. Not my attitude. I'm playing the historian here. But our faculty looked at it and said, our students are coming in here as juniors. We own the last 2 years. The student who wanted to take a class somewhere else in the last 2 years got a really hard time. They had to get permission, and faculty were free to deny that permission. I don't see that happening much today, and that's a good thing. The system as a whole has really grown over the years. System-wide transfers are appreciated today in ways they were not in the mid-1970s, in part because the funding formula treats transfers well. It did not in the 1970s. There were real disincentives to take transfer students. As a system, we've dealt with Gen Ed very well. Gen Ed courses universally transfer around the system. The campus that offers the course determines how it will apply to a common set of general education requirements. But on the margins, there are still interesting little gotchas. So, for example, a student who gets a C or above in a Gen Ed course, again, that will transfer to every campus in the system and meet the same Gen Ed requirement. Well, what happens if the student got lower than a C? We've got two competing visions here. On the one hand, a vision by a statement by the Board of Trustees that students are not to be disadvantaged on the base. I'm paraphrasing, but this is the sense of students are not to be disadvantaged on the basis of where they took the course. On the other hand, a great reluctance on part of many campuses to accept grades lower than a full C. And so the way that got split was with respect to Gen Ed, you have to take the course and it meets the Gen Ed requirement, but you don't have to take the grade and grant the credit for it. And we've struggled with this. We've held not so much with Gen Ed, but with other things, whether it's in the major or with general elective courses. Early in our history, we would take grades lower than a C if they got balanced out with higher grades, so the student had to have at least a C average coming in. More recently, our policy has been we won't take grades lower than a C except by petition. And this is our Academic Affairs Committee is looking over this again, take another look at it. We've had situations where a student who takes a course here and gets a D, the course counts. The student who walks in with the same course from another campus got a C minus, the course will not earn credit. I'm not taking a stand on it. I'm giving, this is an example of the sorts of things that faculty governance structures kind of wrestle with. And it's one that our governance structure is going to be wrestling with this semester. I'm not going to try to predict how it's going to come out. I don't know. But I think it provides at least a brief snapshot and insight into the sorts of things that we think of. There are equity issues and there are quality issues, and so how they have to be balanced.
Thank you. Any questions of Dr. Sarner? Thank you for that description. I think that transfer credit is a problem all over the state. So I think, but wanting to get our students into programs and out in a reasonable amount of time, I think is very important. So I think those are the balance. That's the balance that has to, the equity and the quality need to be taken into consideration, but also making sure that we're not keeping the students semesters over when they need to be here and get them into the workforce or wherever they want to go, not just the workforce, but whatever programs they want to pursue. Thank you, Dr. Sarner.
Thank you, Chair.
Nick Rossi, our student representative.
All right.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, how we doing?
Good.
All right. Let me. All right. Can you see this, Ryan? Is this good?
I can. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So, hi everyone. So my name is Nick, and I'm the student college council representative. And I'm going to present some brief updates from the students and what's been going on with us. So it shouldn't take too long. It's early in the semester, but we'll jump right into it. So as usual, I plan to talk about what goes on with student government, some campus activities and events, some student highlights, what's been going on as well, talk about athletics, and then we'll close out there. So
Thank you.
jumping right into it. So some updates from SGU. So as Dr. Chauvier said, we're working on creating the esports arena at the moment. So the location of that is in the 24-hour computer lab, which is right across from University Police, if some of you know where that is. So that's where it's going to be, and we're currently working on bringing in the computers and setting up that space for it. So we're really excited about that, and that should be almost done within the next few weeks. It'll probably be done. So that's a big project that we're really excited about, and our esports, Vodka Esports is very excited about it too. So other than that, so we're currently trying to change some stipends with all of our cabinet positions and our exec positions. They haven't been adjusted in quite a long time, so that's something that we're working on because they are pretty low considering where inflation's at nowadays because they were made quite a long time ago. So that's something we're working on. We're also working on changing some of our roles, such as chief of staff and a director of human relations positions. So the director of human relations, we're looking to kind of transform that into a director of student success or academic success. So our idea would be to have the student focus only on that and meet with the provost, Dr. Russell, and discuss things. So that's something we're looking to do. That's a great opportunity. Chief of staff, we're looking to kind of make that more of like an executive assistant in a way. So yeah, but there's a few others we're working on. But overall, we're trying to make it more flexible and make it something that students are really interested in doing. Because there hasn't been too much interest in like director of human relations, for example, and we think we can kind of make it into something else, if that makes sense. So
Yes.
yeah. Other than that, so Bailey's been working. Our president Bailey Wadsworth's been working a lot with undergraduate admissions office. We're seeking to kind of transform the welcome center that we have here for the admissions office. So most of you here know I do tours and whatnot. So before the tours, we have a bigger group. We bring them all into the welcome center and we have a presentation and whatnot. And this room is kind of outdated, so I think it would be a really good idea to actually update this room. And that's something we're looking to do. And I think it would definitely help with, the visual appeal of bringing people here and whatnot. But yeah, that's something that we're in the talks about. We haven't had like any blueprints or any, like we have ideas, but we haven't fully set anything in stone yet. But that's something we're doing. On the student side, executive elections are almost underway. So they'll be open tomorrow, so they're not open yet. But this is for the president, vice president, treasurer, all that stuff. So that's going to start tomorrow, as well as the SU blood drive is next Tuesday. So I'll be volunteering at that. We always have a great turnout. We put a lot of effort into it. So we're very excited about that. So great.
Great.
So some campus activities and events I just threw on here. So we had grocery bingo right after transfer orientation in January. So we had grocery bingo. That's a very popular event. We also brought back Free Ski Friday. So this is at Woods Valley in Rome, and it served over 150 students, I want to say, at this point. It's a very, very popular event. We paid for your lift ticket and whatnot. So that started back up. It's Black History Month, so we had Epic Rap Battles of Black History. That was a very good event. Super Bowl was last weekend. So we had a watch party for that. It's always a great turnout. We had some other DIY stuff like Gingerbread House. We had board game night, stuff like that. National Pizza Day was last week as well. So we had all kinds of, our mark produced all kinds of different pizzas for everyone to try. So that was a good event. And we still have our free movie showings. So I'm not sure exactly which movies we had, but I know Mean Girls was one of them. So we pay for your ticket to go and watch movies at Rome Cinema. So that's something that's very exciting. A lot of our students take advantage of that. And I hope we continue that going forward. So that's something Bailey came up with, and we're very happy with that. So I enjoy it. But other than that, some other campus activities, events, and what's going on outside of Web. So we do have career services in our alumni, our alumni office. They planned Survey Up Knowledge events. Those were very good events, very insightful with some alumni here. So those had a pretty good turnout. We had our Spring 24 Involvement Fair. So we have it every semester, and it's all of our clubs and organizations. They table. We talk to transfer students looking to get involved. That's always a great event. We always have a very large turnout for that, so we're happy with that. So as Dr. Chevalier talked about, we had Strategic Planning Day as well. So we had quite a lot of students there that voiced their opinions, concerns, what they like, what they don't like about our institution. And I was very happy with it. I thought there was some pretty good insight. I know I spoke with Wayne after about some of my insight and whatnot, because I'm one of the quieter people. I don't like to take the mic and talk. But I talked about some of my insights, what I was thinking, and I thought overall that was a pretty good, insightful day, and I was happy with it. So a lot of our exec board was happy with the outcome. So other than that, so we had a 100-day celebration kickoff. So that was that was alumni office and CSI office planning these events. So it was 100 days to celebrate because graduation's coming up May 4th. So we're excited for that. Other than that, we had international student meet and greet with our international students office and whatnot with Kevin. I don't know her last name, but Kevin's great. She planned this event and had a pretty good turnout. We have a very large international population here. It was a great way for them to kind of meet each other if they already didn't know each other. So other than that, Res Life had different events, whether it was Lunar New Year celebration, they had different kind of styled foods for a day. We also had the actual celebration was in Hilltop. That was an RA event. Each RA plans all their events every month, and there's quite a lot of them. I can't really go into every one of them, if I'm being honest, but there's quite a lot of events, and they do a very good job at planning them out. And I know we had stuff for Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. We had one for Valentine's Day at Adirondack. The Res Hall, they planned something, so that was great. I gave roses to people. So, anyways, other than that, some student highlights. So these are kind of random ones. So we had I want to say it's every January, we have a legislative breakfast at Harts Hill Inn. I didn't get to go to that this time, but we had a lot of SUNY Poly students, around, I think it was 10 to maybe 12 that were there. So that was a good turnout. I know I went last year, and there wasn't as many people, but this time there was. So we're happy with that. They represent our school. We talk about student life here and get to meet some of our local politicians and whatnot. So we're happy with that. Other than that, Dr. Cholio's already talked about it, but we had our graduate students from our family nurse practitioner and our psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner programs that participated in the white coat ceremony. So that was also in January, I want to say. So that was a very good event. I was actually there for part of that, and it was a great to see that. So we're very happy for all of them. There's around 90, I believe. So, but yeah. Other than that, one of the newer things that's been going on is there's a new team of 5 MET students, mechanical engineering techs, and they have a team and they're designing and building a bicycle that runs on full power hydraulic systems. So I don't know too much about that because I'm not an engineer, as most of you know, but that's something that's in the works at the moment. And they plan to travel to Iowa and compete with other universities in April. So next time I present, and the last time I present for you guys, I will be talking about the outcome of that. So, but yeah, we're very excited about that. So, all right. So, lastly, we have our athletics program here. So, a few different things. So, I didn't talk about it last time, but SUNY Poly is joining, obviously, the Empire 8 division, or no, it's just Empire 8 next fall. So, we're very excited about that. It's a better conference, or not conference, but overall, I think it's better for our school and all of our students in athletics. I've talked to quite a lot of them. They're very happy about the transition. So we're all looking forward to that. I didn't talk about that last time. I probably should have. But so yeah, that's something that's happening. Other than that, so men's basketball has been having a very solid year. They're currently 10-3 in their conference, and they're still climbing. I know they're playing. I don't know if they're playing tonight, but they're playing, I think, next week and this week. So they'll probably keep winning. So they've been doing very good. Very happy with that. Within their intermission for men and women's basketball, we had socks for sacks, so we throw socks in the cans. So that's pretty cool. It's a tradition, I want to say. So we've been doing that for quite a while, and there was a good turnout at both those basketball games. I was there for them. And yeah. So men's volleyball has also been playing very well. I know one of the members of the team, and he was talking about how good they've been lately. So they won 5 out of their last 7. They kind of had this little start, and they picked it up quite a lot. So they've been doing very well lately. They faced some tough teams and they prevailed. So good on them. Anyways, yeah, men and women's lacrosse is gearing up for their season openers. So there's not too much actually going on right now. That's why I'm talking about basketball and volleyball. But lacrosse for men and women's, that's coming up very soon. So they've been practicing quite a lot. See them all the time. As well as men's baseball, they're also starting not very far from here in a couple weeks. So that'll be coming up too, and yeah, we wish them good luck for next season. So, but other than that, that's pretty much all I have. I'll have a lot more, I think, for the end of the semester. So it'll be my last one. I'm excited for it, but that's pretty much it. What's going on? If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. But other than that, thanks for listening, and yeah.
Nick, thank you very much. You're always very thorough with your report, so thank you. You're excited about graduating, not getting off the college council, though, right?
That is true. Yeah, I'm gonna miss all of you, honestly.
I'm only kidding. Anybody have any questions for Nick, our student representative?
Roanne, it's Chris Teruzzi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Chris, thank you.
I'm wondering if Nick knows any students who might be interested in observing mental health court, Utica City Court.
I can write it down and I can ask some people. When I think a lot of people that actually sounds pretty interesting to me myself. When is it? Do you know?
We meet every Tuesday at 2:00.
Okay.
It's open court. You had mentioned psych students, I believe, during your presentation.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's just a thought. It's just a thought.
Right.
It's a very dynamic team that we have, and we get Judge Yanis had involvement with Hamilton College, and I thought it might be a good idea if any students want to at least come and observe and see what we do, interact with our team a little bit.
Okay. If you can honestly get the information to me, I know I can get it around. So
Chris, I can get you. I'll get you. I'll put you on an email with Nick, so you have his email. How's that? And Wole, do you think Dr. Joe would be interested in seeing if any of students in the healthcare, or Dr. Russell? What do you think?
I think definitely Joanne would be a great resource person to
Yeah.
connect to the students. Andy, any thoughts?
Yeah, agree completely. Certainly, Joanne and her program in community and behavior health. She's also
That sounds great.
with psych students and sociology as well. So if you can get a description to me, I'll be sure to connect with those faculty members.
Okay, I will put you all on an email to Chris, so you can all just coordinate that. Thank you, Chris. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Yep. Thanks for joining us. Any other questions or comments? Okay. I don't have any reason for executive session. If there aren't any other questions or comments, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you, Darlene. Thank you for coming. A second, please.
Second?
Thank you, Bill. All in favor of adjournment? Aye.
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 All right.
Thank you. I don't think there's any opposed. So we are adjourned. Dan Sargent, do you know the next date of our, if
I
this,
come with these dates listed. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I can certainly get it out to everybody.
yeah, I think it's scheduled in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can look it up. 1 second. Wait a minute.
April 17th on my calendar, Roanne.
Thank you. That's it. I just found it too. Yep. Okay. So April 17th, we will have an in-person, but of course Zoom will be an option for people. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening, and appreciate all of the reports from all of the college academic and doctor. Thank you very much. We appreciate all the update, and I think the SUNY Poly's future is in great hands, and opportunity for students is great. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thank you.